Hi everyone, it's Michelle Angelique, Truth and Integrity Warrior, and today is September 26th, 2021. I don't know when I'm going to be posting this video, but I'm dating it anyways. This is a very, very difficult topic for me to talk about. It's something that I've been mulling over for about a month and a half now. It's a very heavy topic for me, but being that my name is Truth and Integrity Warrior, as my title, I better become truthful with myself. This is something I've been hiding from myself, but it has come to the surface, and it's something I gotta face. Something I gotta fucking face, and something I gotta do. And I do it by saying it, by getting it out, expressing it. Got a big fucking knot in my throat. I have a very hard time talking. This is so heavy for me to do. It might not be a big deal for some of you, but it's a big fucking deal for me, for my culture. So how do I begin? How do I begin? The title of this video is Our Sex is Distorted and How to Remove Guilt and Shame. So the energies here, the emotions here, they got to be recentered in the heart. In the heart area is guilt and shame, and those are really deep for all of us. And it's actually the two hardest, in my opinion, the two hardest emotions to release, to face, to get out. And letting you know, I'm going through a twin soul journey with David. David, my twin soul, which people call twin flames. It's a fucking real thing. It just means a mere reflection of your own soul. So what he's doing to one degree and expresses is to a different degree the same thing I've gone through or going through or have to heal within myself. I should have brought some water. I feel like I can't talk. I'll do my best to keep this light because this fucking shit's heavy. But I don't know. I might cry. So be ready for that. Got my waterproof mascara on just in case. So though back in August, a lot of you guys know I've been separated from David. He's in rehab now, which is good. And he's getting off crystal meth, really heavy on that. And he has a real heavy past. It was a very toxic relationship between me and him. But I chose to go into a toxic relationship, and that'll be another video for another day. I knew what I was getting into, but I didn't know what I was getting into, kind of thing. I was up for a challenge, but I didn't know it's going to be something that's going to transform my heart, you know. It's going to take me a little bit to get this out. I can't just be like I usually am, you know. I just like put it right on the table. I can't do it in this one. It's something I've denied being something, an issue, something I've denied to myself. So I just deny, period. So just for me to spit it out and say, well, it's not easy. So give me a second, okay? And then what I'm going to talk about David, may never speak to me again after I say what I say. He reaches out to me and he wants to get our relationship going back, but I don't trust him. You know, I don't. And just leave it at that. Fuck. So, how do I begin? How do I do this? I'm sorry about the pause. I'm trying to figure out how to put all this fucking very deep information and make it where there's a positive outcome at the end of this. I will be processing as I go through this fucking challenge right now. But if we don't get guilt and shame, the two hardest, deep-seated fucking core to your soul shit we keep from ourselves so that we don't let anybody else see it because it's so fucking shameful or we feel so much guilt attached to it. No matter to what degree, you know, short degree, or I should say lighter degree to a stronger degree, that will still cause an effect for us to be able to move forward in our life and causes blocks we're not aware of. Well, I've become aware of this block because my throat hurts so bad. I have this knot, you know, here, and this knowing that that I got to get this out for this to go away. And when I say this to go away, it's I cannot be truthful to myself if I can't be honest to myself about everything. And this is something I've denied, and that is bisexuality, right? Bisexuality. Now, a lot of people in the United States, it's like no big deal. Everybody's fucking gay, right? Uh, everybody is. It's almost, it feels like that, right? In the culture, anyways. When you come from a Mexican culture, you live in Mexico, it doesn't work like that. You know, you go to hell type of things. You're not godly. You're not accepted. You're outcast. You're not okay. There's something wrong with you. I grew up with that as a little kid. Uh, Heavy Christian from my grandparents, and then it just in the culture, it really is. And so, even if you're listening to your grandparents talking, people and the people that talk around them, I should say, it's you going to not go to heaven, go to hell type of shit. So that shit sticks with you as a kid. So I was trying to figure out where I got guilt from, why am I afraid to say that? It took me a long time to be able to even get the words out of my mouth to be able to put on this camera. I've been going through a lot of soul searching this past month and a half since I saw something that David exposed to me. Not directly, he did it indirectly, but it's something I had to face in myself because I knew the disgust that I felt about him was my disgust I felt about myself. Disgust enough where I couldn't let anybody know. And so I feel David needs to get this out himself. He'll hate me for it, I'm very sure. But you got to remember, David comes from a very classic American background, white boy, baseball. He was going into the major leagues before he got in a baseball accident where baseball hit him in the right eye and shattered his face and ruined his possibilities of being drafted right before drafting. And so that took him into a downward spiral. I say that only so you got an idea about David and where's his positions from. Um, David also grew up in as an altar boy. He was a good boy until he became a bad boy. He was a good boy until he became a bad boy. But shit happens to us when we're kids that alter our behavior. They alter how we feel, how we think, and what we do. And that's the stuff we gotta start processing and get it out so it doesn't block our heart energy from being able to grow and expand and be able to live life in a cohesive, balanced manner. That's all we're looking for. Just looking for some fucking balance. But we're out of balance, and in this out of balance with our sex is what we deny ourselves. In my case, on the degree line of how we rate our sex, I deny myself, and David is straight debauchery when it comes to bisexuality. So I deny that I'm bisexual. Could never even say that. Could never say that. Still went through a whole lot of crying, a whole lot of processing. And David, he where his environment's from, he's all American classic, white boy, gorgeous man. He looks better than Tom Brady type of man. And so nobody would expect that from him. And he wouldn't be able to also admit to that. So it's something that he has to live with, and he's disgusted by it only because I hear how he speaks about it. He's disgusted with the idea and says that only exists when he's on drugs. Only when he's on drugs does he express that why that might be happening. So I don't really want to speak for David. David has to speak for himself, but I do want to help David see for himself what he has to heal so that he can move on in his life. And so I'm going to bring this back to myself because I can only speak for myself and hope that David and other people like myself, like David, and everybody else in between. Find some kind of balance. Remove these feelings of guilt and shame, and how to be able to remove that deep seed, where that seed comes from. When I say seed, I'll explain why a little bit later, but there's been a seed implanted in the depths of our soul. When we say our soul, people say the mind, in the deep parts of our mind, which is our soul, that is wrong. It's wrong to be gay, it's wrong to be bisexual, that there's something wrong with you that must be fixed. So if you can't express yourself, you'll hide yourself. When you hide yourself from yourself, you hide yourself from your partners, and that distorts our ability to have good, healthy sexual relationships. When I say good and healthy sexual relationships, I don't mean fucking leave it to beaver, healthy sexual relationships, that kind of fucking bullshit. I mean the kind of sexual relationships where there's no lies, no deceit, no betrayal, but you can have the best sex and the most comfortable sex, the kind of sex you want with your partner, be whatever kind of sex that is, that you can both uh, respect and enjoy from one another without hiding from one another. Because I hid mine from David, and David hid his from me, and both all the while we're both bisexual, and neither one of us tell each other. And so now we're in a state where, what do we do with that? What do we do with that? Now it's too late. It's gone. David's down his path, and I'm down mine. But I'm never gonna lie to another partner ever again. I'm gonna be sure to let them know, just about me. I still haven't figured out how I would say, hey, yeah, I'm Michelle and I'm bisexual. I want to do it like that. I don't feel comfortable doing that. But I can love a man like I love a woman, not in the same physical way, but with the same intensity and passion. And that's something I could never say before. I could never say that. I could never admit that to anybody. But I had to do a lot of processing before I made this video, because I wouldn't be able to get through the video. I'd fucking cry my eyes out. Um, but to be told that we're supposed to live in guilt and shame because of it, and that there's something wrong with being like that, for whatever reason we got to be like that, be it from rape, be it from molestation, be it from trauma. Uh, I recognize that sometimes you're just born that way. Literally, you're just born that way, and people gotta just accept that that's the way you're just born. Be it through the genetic modification in our food system, people are becoming born this way. Before our food was modified, people were still being born this way. So there's all kinds of reasons why somebody could be gay or bisexual, but our judgment upon them is a problem. That's the problem. And so, in our judgment to ourselves, it's even a greater problem, because even though we accept ourselves, or get to the point of acceptance, there's still that guilt and shame. Because even though I said, okay, I can accept I'm bisexual, and I can accept to say it, I still had the guilt and the shame part. I had to balance out, because I could still feel it. I'm very in tune to my feelings, because I'm looking and I'm seeking. I'm not comfortable just letting things fly by. I'm always looking to reset and reorganize myself to improve. So, why do I say this? David's gonna be mad as heck, mad as hell, just fucking mad. But he had put on my social media multiple multiple connections with other people that were transvestites, right? Transvestite, it means he likes the female look, but with the man anatomy. And so it shows that he likes both male and female, right? And a lot of you know that we had a really hard time with intimacy. Me and David didn't have intimacy, and not lack of my part, but lack of David. David had a problem with intimacy. I say these things so that David can look at himself and heal, look for a way to heal. as I gotta and have been looking for a way to heal and accept myself. You know, my family right now, I'm making this video, they don't know that about me. My family, my kids don't know that about me. That's how much I deny that reality of me outside of me. I'm gonna do everything not to cry. Okay. I have to write things on paper or I'll lose track. Now, looking at David, I felt disgust. Disgust with him. But I knew that what I saw in him, I had to look into myself, be it that we reflect one another, right? And so I had to say, I knew that the disgust was with me. I didn't want to, like females, because it wasn't what society said is okay. Society it doesn't accept it as healthy, right? And I know it has to do with religion. Big factor, religion. You know. Okay, got myself back together. Sorry about that. That was a hard one. And the reason I'm bringing it back to this part with religion is I had to find what part of me made me feel guilt and shame. Where the fuck did I get this feeling from? Nobody said, "Hey, Michelle, you need to be fucking shameful and you need to feel this guilt." You know, that's how it is. Nobody said that to me directly. It's not something that happened to me that lets me think, okay, that's why I feel this guilt and shame. So I'm like, where the fuck is this a feeling from? Because even though I'm saying I'm accepting myself, I feel I can't accept myself. And it's the feeling that gotta change, right? So just the words have to also match the emotion. The emotion. And so if my emotion is not accepting my guilt and my shame for being who I am, I have to dig. And maybe others cannot dig, but this is why I'm doing the digging so that I can share it and maybe be a bridge so that people don't gotta push so hard. Push so hard. This shit'll break a motherfucker. Break him to his edge. And I'm not trying to do that to David. Trust me. I'm not saying this because I want to hurt David. I love David. I love David. I love David unconditionally. Alright. How I got to this deep seed of how to pull this fucking seed out that's buried so deep in my fucking soul that I want it gone. I want this feeling to change into balance. Why can't I get this feeling into balance? Who told me, or where did this come from, or what happened to me that I don't know where it is? Went through an experience uh, in April, months back, 2021. This journey with David. Uh, that I felt so defeated, being sent home like a dog with his tail between his legs from David. Going back to Mexico, spending 2 weeks out there with him. I felt defeated. Uh, my heart was pounded, but it wasn't defeated by David. A lot of you don't know because I haven't expressed to you. I must do this in other videos, but I took on a toxic relationship with David. I took it on because I knew that there was something negative in his field breaking him, and I wanted to break it. I wanted to go break it. break this fucking, you can call it demon, you call it jinn, you call it whatever you want. But I was making videos before I ever met David about these things that ride inside of human beings. And so I recognized that in David. And I said, you know, I'm going to go out there, give me opportunity to get close to this man, see what I can do to break this fucking jinn, this demon, this fucking thing riding in David's field. And I'm gonna take advantage of that big dick David got. The reason I say that is that, you know, that motherfucker not only is gorgeous, he is well fucking endowed. I mean, if I was blinded by the dick, I really was. It got me in the relationship. Fucking blinded. You know? Fucking telling myself I'm gonna go slay that fucking demon and I'm gonna get slayed by that dick. And well, that shit didn't happen, you know. They've got intimacy problems with me. I'll just say with me because, you know, David got a fucking some kind of sex addiction. He really does, and I don't know if it's in pornography and what, but I tell you, let David speak for himself. But as you know, there was not a lot of sex between David and I. When I'm a super sexual person, and I didn't get any. I didn't get it how I know I could get it or how I could have got it. That'll be another video for another day. But like I said, I'll try to make something soft, you know, break the tension. It's a very heavy topic, you know, guilt and shame. But going back, I wanted to get that opportunity to see what I can do to remove this negativity out of David, and that's why I took on this kind of relationship, knowing it was toxic. I kind of knew what I was getting into. I just didn't know the result of all this transformation of removing all of these negative, deep-seated emotions I had in my heart. Energy, it's like a field. It's an energy field. It's like having a computer with some fucked up files in it, and those files got to come out for that operation, for operations to work right. But we're not used to knowing how our heart operates. We're not told anything about that. We just use the brain operations. They got the senses of the touch, the feel, the taste, you know, the smell, our five senses. Our heart has other senses, and it connects to the field of reality that we're in, and this is why it's locked. We got something locking our heart down, making sure our heart energy doesn't rise and doesn't connect and vibrate and sense our reality, so that we don't have a better control of our reality and of our world. And so, because I am aware that there is a negative force making sure that we do not rise up as a species, it wants to make sure that we stay down. That I took that challenge on with David so that I could learn, and I have. Go back to this deep seated thought in my soul, making giving me the feeling of guilt and shame for who I am about being bisexual. When I was on that plane, you know, being sent home, David didn't even take me to the plane. He had his dad take me fucking to the airport to send me off. Fucking shameful shit. Even more shameful that I allowed it. But you know, there isn't. It's just something I had to go through. Just fucking something I had to go through. You know, I don't blame David. He's heavy on drugs. You know, I knew what I was getting into, and it just is. It was what it was. It is what it is. But when I was on that plane, feeling fucking defeated by this fucking demon that was riding in David's field, I was so mad that I started a journey. I decided to. I said I want to know how these fucking negative entities fucking work, and I know that there's information out there to see where they're at. You know, let me give you a name. So there is somebody called Rudolf Steiner, and I never wanted to get into his information because I could tell that there was a lot of negativity in it. He's the father of the New Age, you know. And the New Age, if you go further back, is called anthroposophy. And I don't suggest people go in and read into that because it sounds so much like Christianity and Catholicism. It sounds so beautiful, but there is a Luciferic straight up Luciferic agenda in there, and they have mixed it in our Christianity, and they have mixed it in Catholicism, and I don't know what other religions it's been mixed in, because I don't know other religions like I do Christianity and Catholicism, but it's word for word what is in this new age anthroposophy philosophy from Rudolf Steiner is Luciferic 100%. And it is frightening and it is shocking to know how deeply embedded it is in our Christianity and our Catholicism. So, be it that I grew up in Christianity, um, the words you go to hell or you're not accepted or there's something wrong with you because of your bisexuality or because you're gay, it brings a lot of fear in a child. So the only thing that I could relate to was that deep seed of information being placed on me as a child in my mind, which is my soul, to give me that fear, that feeling that I cannot change until I recognize where the fucked up seed was, where it came from. So if in our Christianity and our Catholicism, we have New Age Luciferic information being binded into it, they'll tell you right there when you go into Rudolf Steiner's information, fucking bothersome, very bothersome, because they straight state that the Christ light is Lucifer in all people and how they were going to put it and make it into religions that we have had and that are now. So this is something that goes way back, way back. But this person, Rudolf Steiner, in the 19th century, brought it into the New Age. And so these things are ancient, these things are old, but people can bring them back and then just give them a new name. And so recognizing that there is a negative force, making sure that we stay locked and blocked in our hearts so that we cannot love and feel and have the senses that are natural to our nature so that we can live a cohesive life in this reality, then I'm going to say, fuck that shit. I'm going to reject that. I'm going to pull that fucking file out because now I see where that seed is. I see how that seed was implanted into my mind to make me reject myself and have others reject me not accept myself, and others not accept people like me. And so those who follow Christianity and Catholicism, be watchful. I am a follower of Yeshua, the real name of Jesus. Jesus is someone else. You should look up into it, because those who are into anthroposophy are into Luciferianism, and they call him Jesus. I am with Yeshua, and there is a difference. So look into that. We have all been deceived. There is a big play on our species and mankind. And if we don't get on the same page and start healing ourselves from the inside out, start healing our hearts, we're not going to be able to make it through the challenges that we're faced with in our world today, because we see our world breaking down. And so all we can do is rise up within our heart space, remove the guilt and the shame that's been put on us into our minds, into our hearts, so we can live again and start anew, start accepting ourselves for who we are. The one thing I do want to get into is when we go into sexuality, the part of this is sexuality has been taken from in the bedroom, let's say, keeping it private, into being put into our streets, into our children are seeing these things. And that's where the debauchery, the perversion part, I should say, starts coming in, the excess. And that's something that has to be changed in our world, because it's going too far to the extreme where if you're gay or you're lesbian or you're bisexual, you're supposed to be perverted. You're supposed to express your sex on the street, and that is incorrect. It's incorrect because we have children. We have our youth that we have to take care of. Sexuality is not for children. And it's this negativity, is this evil force that's saying, you want to enjoy your sex? Yeah, enjoy your sex, and put it in the street, you know, break down your children, break down your generations. And that's what we got to get back into balance and focus. So if we are gay, if we are bisexual, if we're straight, you know, it's important that we recognize that keeping a balance in the center is what we got to find and define that there is a difference. No matter how we express our sex with one another, it's something that should be kept more in the private and not in front of the children in the streets. And so bringing ourselves back to balance in the center is what we must look at: being straight, being gay, being bisexual. So much more I want to share. So much more I want to share. I don't know if I should go into another part. Um, I think I'm going to leave it right there. Uh, there's another aspect to this, but I'm going to wait for another video. But it's just recognizing that there's a negative force that wants to make sure that we don't grow, we don't expand, we don't accept ourselves. For whatever reason we may be who we are or feel the way we feel about ourselves, we can always reset and rebalance, find that acceptance within ourselves and start anew, you know, start anew. I really do appreciate people taking the time to listen. I really am worried that David's gonna lose his shit after he sees this video, because he denies it. He denies it. He says it's not true, but yet it's on my social media. So how can it not be true? It's almost like a cry for help. I didn't put that there. He did. And then he says, yeah, but he was on a lot of drugs. Well, yeah, well, that's something that you got to notice and you got to pay attention to. It's something you got to reflect on. Something we got to heal and fix within ourselves so that we can fucking move forward in life, because we got a lot of blocks. And those blocks don't just stop us from the reality we want to create in our life. Is that reality that we want to create in our life comes from the heart energy first. And if we don't remove those blocks and find balance within the heart energy, literally it's a vibration, it's a beam, it's a photon, it's a light that's being projected out into the field. But we got to find the balance within ourselves so that we can create the balance within our relationships. I don't know if this video went the way I wanted it to, but it's what I got for right now. Michelle Angelique, Truth and Integrity Warrior, trying to become that warrior to myself, being honest to myself, and having that integrity within myself to share with you. Peace out.